Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's WhatDaBuG. I hope we're feeling good tonight or tomorrow, whenever the hell you're listening to this. So, tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to watch some Titanic stuff and this other really funny thing that I found. And, guys, if you're on TikTok, please go over to YouTube because we can actually hear Bug, we can actually talk like Bug, and we can actually be real over there. If you're playing video games and you have to, look away for a second, do that. But that's where we're going. I'm ending TikTok's live altogether. I'm not letting it sit here tonight. Much love to everybody on TikTok. Please, my bio has my YouTube link, or literally it's not hard to find me because you can just be like, WhatDaBuG. All right. I know you are. I'll let it run for a second. Let this run for a second. Dude, we're almost at 10,000 likes over here, though. Might as well just maybe get there or something. I don't know. But I want to turn this goddamn camera off and these fucking lights. And the best thing about it is I can because goddamn YouTube, I don't have my camera on for that. Yo. It's the best. I'll just let it run for a second. But anyway, so guys, I found. Hello, how's it going, Mel? I'm just literally just bringing people over from there, but I never know. It's cold. Hey, what's up? Yeah, cool. Kai K, what's up? Let's go. All right, yeah, sweet. So anyway, did this shit. I almost want to. Which one do you guys want to watch first? So I found one about that. I found one about the Titanic, about the old camera that was found, and they were able to develop. They were able to develop and save some of the photos that were taken. Yeah, man, seriously. Hey, Hannah, what's up? What is going on? All right, cool. You guys are awesome. Well, we're almost there. All right, so check this out. I have that, and then I also have another. I don't know how funny it is necessarily, but the caption is hilarious. I know that because I'm like, what? What? That shit's crazy. All right, let me see. Where did I put it? I put it in here. What? Oh, nah. Hidden? Mm. Mm-mm-mm. All right, I just need to get over here for a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Where did I put it? Did I put it in quirky? Where did I put it? That actually might be a cool one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I found it. Okay. All right. Found it. All right. So I just know that it's in there. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So, what's it gonna be, y'all? Is it gonna be the pictures and the documentary about the Titanic, or are we gonna watch The Lady first? We're gonna watch both of them. I should have enough time to do that, unless I get tired. I just want to know what you guys, Titanic. Okay, I have that one up because I think because we didn't even get to finish the Titanic one from the other night. This is just a break because talking about Gypsy and like all the bullshit. My last 2 lives, I covered stuff for you guys, and all right, cool. And yeah, cool. This is cool. I just found this one. Awesome. I'm glad. We're just hanging out tonight, guys. This is a no pressure. This is a no pressure live. Like seriously, we're just straight up hanging out. Like y'all are up, we ain't out partying. Like maybe they are on the other side of the world because they can do shit, but summer is just like the whole thing. All right, sweet. I appreciate all the likes, guys. I'm gonna close this out. Thank you for that. Yo, Jetica, what's up, dude? How are you doing? What's up, Hey, Banana, how's it going? See, that's what I'm talking about. We're doing it. We're doing it. Hell yeah, Jetica. How are you? How is Auntie? How are y'all doing? I'm so glad you're here. What a crazy time to catch you. I feel like I don't see you as much. Hey, Jonesy, how's it going? See, I already told y'all. Because people are over here creeping on. And you get notifications way better. YouTube sends out notifications better than TikTok does. And TikTok is doing it on purpose. And it's pushing you out. I mean, like, already. So, guys, tonight we're doing something completely different. It's not true crime. We're going to be talking about, well, this part isn't true crime. So we're going to start with the documentary. It's under 30 minutes, but it's right about 30 minutes. And then I have to stop, So I'm going to get this to share and we'll start. We're going to start because I'm excited. Like, I saw this and I was like, what? Like, don't worry, guys. I know. Let me just put this up here for a second. I know. Put that up there and get rid of that. Boom. All right. There we go. All right, y'all. Let me get back to the comments so I can follow along with you guys. I'm so glad everybody's here, dude. I hope everybody's doing good. And if you guys are listening back on replay, here we go again. Let's try another Titanic situation. I'm going to play this, and I have to stop it. I'm going to try to time myself, but I don't want to get cut off again. Because if I get cut off, I'm not going live back on either platform. So if I get cut off, just know I'm not coming back to answer y'all's question. Not tonight, because I have to get up early. But then we can do it all over again tomorrow. All right. Without further ado, let's see what I found.
Do we actually design some projects for recovery?
Seeing firsthand the most iconic shipwreck in history, the Titanic.
An old rust-covered camera was recently discovered deep in the icy depths near the Titanic wreckage, and what it contained shocked the world. The photos from its fragile film offer a disturbing perspective on the fateful night the ship went down. These haunting images reveal moments never seen before, moments of fear, tragedy, and mystery that change everything we thought we knew. What horrifying secrets did this camera capture? Join us as we uncover the disturbing Titanic photos from the camera found in the deep ocean. Where the Titanic came from. Before we dive into the sad story, let's take a quick look at the Titanic's origin. The name Titanic.
Okay, this is going to be cool because this is like seriously like for beginners and advanced people, but I do want to say one thing. Isn't it crazy that they can recover a camera that's at the bottom of the ocean? That's like 2.5 miles fucking down. They can recover a camera, develop the photos, but they can't tell us where the fucking aliens are. Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's keep going, y'all.
Titanic was inspired by the Titans in Greek myths. It was built in Belfast, Ireland, back when the area was part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. The Titanic was the second in a group of 3 massive ships called the Olympic-class ocean liners. The first ship in this series was the Olympic, and the last one was the Britannic. These ships were the biggest ones owned by the British company White Star Line, which had a total of 29 steam-powered ships in the year 1912. The idea for these 3 ships came up in the middle of 1907 during a chat between J. Bruce Ismay, who was the boss of White Star Line, and J.P. Morgan, an American businessman who owned the company controlling White Star Line. The construction of these ships was handled by Harland and Wolff, a shipbuilding company in Belfast that had been working with White Star Line since 1867. Harland and Wolff were given a lot of freedom in designing the ships. Usually, one of the designers, Wilhelm Wolff, would come up with a rough idea, and Edward James Harland would turn that into a proper ship plan. Money wasn't a big concern for these ships. Harland and Wolff were allowed to spend whatever they needed, along with an extra 5% as their profit. For the first 2 Olympic-class ships, the agreed cost was £3 million, which would be worth about £370 million in 2023, plus additional expenses and the usual profit percentage. Harland and Wolff brought in their top experts to design the Olympic-class ships.
So this popped up on my page tonight, and I saw this and I was like, oh shit. Like I just found this earlier. So I haven't watched this yet. I don't know. I heard about them. I heard about it, the camera being found, but it's just crazy. The camera, dude. Like, imagine this. I bet you, bro, you throw one of our cameras in the fucking ocean, shit is done. So it's a little wet. Done.
The team was led by Lord Pirrie, who worked for both Harland and Wolff and the White Star Line. Thomas Andrews, who managed the design department at Harland and Wolff, also played a big role. He had help from his deputy, Edward Wilding, who handled things like the ship's stability and balance. Another key figure was Alexander Carlisle, the shipyard's head drafter and general manager. Carlisle took care of the decorations, equipment, and overall layout, including figuring out how to set up lifeboats in the best way. On the July 29, 1908, Harland and Wolff showed their ship designs to J. Bruce Ismay and other leaders at White Star Line. Ismay liked what he saw and gave the green light 2 days later by signing 3 agreements to start building the ships. At first, the first ship...
Oh, wow. Did you see that? Wow. Yo, props to these people, because did you guys see the part that when Cal just stood up in that? Me too, Mel. I've been to a lot of the Titanic museums. I don't know where you live, but they're really cool. Because it was cold and deprived of oxygen. It's not just about time. It was practically put in a freezer. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct about that. I will agree with that. But what I was more so getting at was that it just wasn't not the fact that the camera wouldn't work, because they worked differently. But what I was getting at was more so the fact that the film was restorable. That's what I was talking about. More so the film that came from it, because the shit's not coming from the camera. It came out of the camera, but there was film. Yeah, I mean, we shot in film, right? You guys remember those? But you know what's crazy is I got my first tooth when I was not till I was 1.5. And fun fact about Bug, I lost a tooth in fucking high school. I lost my last tooth when I was 15. That's fucking... But nobody wanted to put my tooth in a film roll. It's not fair. I didn't even get the fucking film rolls. I never lost teeth in elementary school, 2. And I lost them at home.
Ship, which later became the Olympic, didn't even have a name. It was just called Number 400, because it was the 400th ship Harland and Wolff had built. The Titanic was based on an updated version of this design and was labeled Number 401. The Titanic, often called the Unsinkable Ship, was finished on March 31, 1911. But it wouldn't be long before it faced a huge test, would question whether it truly deserved that title. What happens next will show us the truth. Disaster strikes. When the RMS Titanic started its first journey in the year 1912, people thought it was unsinkable. This trip, which was supposed to go across the Atlantic Ocean from England to America, caught everyone's attention, not just because the ship was huge, but also because it was incredibly fancy. The Titanic was about 882 feet long and 92 feet wide. When fully loaded, it weighed over 52,000 tons. That size allowed for lots of amazing features. The first-class area had veranda cafes, a gym, a swimming pool, and even luxurious Turkish baths. It seemed like everything about the Titanic was perfect, but this dream didn't last. Just 4 days after leaving port, the ship hit an iceberg and sank. In less than 3 hours, the unsinkable ship was gone.
Dude.
The Titanic...
Hey, Squirmer, how's it going? Why you tripping, dude? Are you anxious excited? You guys, look at that. But, like, alternatively Squimmer, so we're talking about the Titanic. So, there's an old camera found in deep ocean revealed horrifying Titanic photos. Alright, but, like, this is that kinda shit like, this shit is wild, like, this motherfucker was already off the look, there's not a lot of people up. That's crazy. Oh my god. Alright, let's keep going. Ah.
Titanic was built to hold 64 lifeboats, but for some reason, it only carried 20. 4 of those were collapsible, which didn't make things any easier when it came time to evacuate. To make matters worse, it took about an hour for the first lifeboat to be lowered into the water, and even then, most of the boats weren't filled to their full capacity. The Titanic sent out distress signals, hoping for help. While some ships responded, most of them were too far away to make it in time. The closest ship, the RMS Carpathia, was about 58 miles away and immediately began heading toward the Titanic after receiving the distress call. It took 2 hours and 40 minutes for the Titanic to completely sink after hitting the iceberg. Unfortunately, the RMS Carpathia didn't arrive until about an hour after the ship went under. Thankfully, its crew was able to save survivors and bring them aboard. Out of the estimated 2,224 passengers and crew on the Titanic, around 1,500 lost their lives. Only about 700 people survived, and most of them were women and children. The survivors finally reached New York.
Let me tell you guys something. It's actually really, really, totally disgusting. When you look, if you go to a Titanic museum, you can just look it up online, but it's different when it's in front of your face, like to see it, kind of like the memorials where like the 9/11 stuff, and you actually go to the memorial and then like you see like all the names, but it's like the reality of it is like in front of you versus like reading a thing online. The list from like the third class and the crew. It is crazy. Crazy, crazy.
On April 18th. Even though the Titanic sank, it wasn't forgotten. Soon after the tragedy, plans were made to recover what could be salvaged from the wreck, but even that came with its own set of challenges. Initial attempts to recover the Titanic's wreckage. Right after the Titanic sank on April 15, 1912, people started coming up with ideas to recover it from the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean. At the time, though, no one knew exactly where it was or what kind of shape it was in. Some wealthy families who had lost loved ones in the disaster, like the Guggenheims, Astors, and Wideners.
All right, I'm pausing again because it just showed Cal saying this, and I say it all the time. People will be like, "It is what it is." I hate that saying because it is not. It is not. It is not what it is. It is what it is one of those sayings that is like, "Oh, I give up. I don't care. What difference does it make? Nothing I can do about it." But a real man makes his own luck. Okay, just it is what it is. That's like saying like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I quit." Like, it is what it is a fucking you're settling. I'm not talking about Mayflower type of settling. I'm talking about you're just you don't give a fuck. Yeah, it is what you make it. It is what it is giving up. It's a sorry saying.
Teamed up and hired the Merritt and Chapman Derrick and Wrecking Company to try to bring the Titanic back up. But the project didn't get far. The divers couldn't even come close to reaching the incredible depth where the Titanic rested, where the water pressure is over 6,000 pounds per square inch. At one point, the company thought about using dynamite to break apart the wreck and bring bodies to the surface, but they eventually gave up. Ocean experts at the time believed the pressure at those depths would have crushed the bodies into jelly-like lumps. Interestingly, they were wrong about that. Scientists didn't discover until 1987 that corpses filled with water can remain mostly intact at the bottom. This discovery was made using the same submersible that explored the Titanic a year earlier. The cold water and high pressure where the Titanic sank would have stopped gases from forming in decomposing bodies, which kept them from floating back up to the surface. Over the years, people came up with all sorts of ideas to bring the Titanic back to the surface. Most of the plans didn't work out because of practical issues, not enough money, or poor understanding of the conditions deep underwater. In March of 1940,
They'd bring it up. The oxygen would fuck it up completely. It's actually safer down there, rusting away with all the rusticles. It really is better down there. If they bring it up at this point, like if they would be lucky if it didn't like crumble and shatter on its way up. And then also alternatively, what the fuck, bro? Like I don't even give a shit what country is bringing it up, but like what the fuck for any countries involved in that? Like you guys got like literal like all over the world. There's like unhomed people and like people that need help, and then like the economy sucks ass, especially depending on like what area of the globe you live on. And like dude, it's always crazy, like they spent more money on fucking getting those dumbass motherfuckers that went down that ocean gate thing than they spent at the same time there was a ship that was actually sinking in the middle of the ocean, and like we're not getting helped the right way because everyone's pouring money into the ocean gate saving those people. First of all, how savage of the media to count down the oxygen hours, and then tell me this doesn't look like fucking what's that fucking guy's name? Shia LaBeouf. Let me put this. Tell me this ain't Shia LaBeouf. That's Shia LaBeouf. Do you guys remember? You guys know who Shia LaBeouf is? Look at that. Wow. This is that kind of shit right here that is like, speaking of like oligarchies, it's like people like the rich like continue to like swing around in circles, if that makes sense. Like they keep coming back. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf is from the that one stupid, I couldn't stand him when he was a kid, but anyway, let's keep going.
Charles Smith, an architect from Denver, suggested using a submarine with electromagnets to locate the Titanic's steel hull. Once they found it, more magnets would be sent down from barges to pull the ship to the surface. The plan was estimated to cost $1.5 million, which would be about $35.5 million today. It was too expensive and unrealistic, so it never happened. Another idea involved using balloons to lift the ship. The plan was to attach the balloons to the Titanic's hull with magnets, and once enough were in place, the ship would float up. But like the first idea, this one stayed on paper. In the mid-1960s, an English hosiery worker named Douglas Woolley also tried to use nylon balloons to raise the ship, but technical issues stopped his plan. By the 1970s, people had come up with other wild ideas, like filling the wreck with wax, ping-pong balls, or glass spheres. But these were either too expensive or just didn't make sense. Someone even thought of freezing the Titanic in an ice jacket using liquid nitrogen, but that idea didn't go anywhere either. Many people and groups tried to find or salvage the Titanic.
Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want to freeze it even further than of which it is already cold as shit? Like, why would you want to do that? Because like, if you think about it, like at the end of the fucking day, if you froze it more, dude, it's gonna These are dumb ideas. And the balloons, these motherfuckers would. And what would be the point of bringing it up? Like, what are like? How are we benefiting from that? I don't know.
1977, Robert Ballard attempted to locate it with a salvage vessel, but failed. Walt Disney and National Geographic thought about funding an expedition, but backed out because of the high costs. British tycoon James Goldsmith
Disney?
wanted to find the Titanic to promote his magazine, but had to stop because of money troubles. Fred Kohler, an electronics repairman from Florida, tried to build a submersible to search for treasure, but couldn't get the funding. Other plans, like using giant tankers with cranes, were also talked about, but never happened. In July 1980, a Texan oilman named Jack Grimm led an expedition to search for the Titanic. He got the money for this trip through sponsorship deals, media rights, and a donation from Columbia University for sonar equipment. Even though he brought along top scientists, the team ran into problems. Bad weather and broken equipment ruined their efforts, and they couldn't find anything definite. A documentary called Search for the Titanic came out in 1981, narrated by Orson Welles, to tell the story of this attempt. Grimm didn't give up and tried again in June 1981 with better sonar technology. The team rechecked some areas they thought might hold clues, but it turned out the targets were just natural.
Yo, bro, time out. These motherfuckers are sending stuff down into the ocean, and then you want to sit here and tell me that they didn't have fucking. The only thing they had was like car phones? Nah, dude. Nah, dude. Alright, basically what's going on here is, alright, so the the okay, without saying, okay, the government has like already has the technology like years and years and years in advance, and then they don't like release it to the public until like they know that they have complete control over it. Not in the style of the app. Like I'm talking like inventions. So like when I was 6, I came up with the fucking video chat. But who's listening to a 6-year-old? And then all of a sudden, like later down the road, it was like, okay, because I'm telling you, I was like, well, I was like, what if like our phones had like screens on them? I was like, what if this is as a 6-year-old, I'm not fucking lying about this. And I wish that my dad was here because I would get him on the phone to tell you guys. Because I remember I was like, well, Dad, why don't we like put cameras like on our phones? Like we could put it on like the answer machine and or like have a machine kind of like an answering machine, and then the screen stays there, and then when they call you could do it like that. Like you could answer the phone or you could have the video on. But maybe I was reincarnated or something. Like I don't know. Or maybe at the time I'm from either the future or the past. I'm not really quite sure.
Features. At one point, they spotted something that looked like a propeller, but they couldn't confirm it was from the Titanic. Another documentary, Return to the Titanic, also released in 1981, shared this expedition's story. Grimm made a third attempt in July 1983, but it also didn't work out. Poor weather and limited technology stopped the team from finding the ship. What's surprising is that their equipment actually passed right over or near the wreck without detecting it. Even though these expeditions failed, the determination to find the Titanic eventually paid off. When it seemed like all hope was gone, solutions finally appeared, helping to solve the mystery of the ship's resting place. Discovery of the sunken, unsinkable ship. Although D. Michael Harris and Jack Grimm didn't manage to find the Titanic, their efforts helped map out the area where the ship had gone down. One big problem was that the Titanic's distress signals had given the wrong location, which made the already huge search area even larger. Despite not finding the ship during his 1977 expedition, Robert Ballard didn't lose hope. He came up with new tools and a fresh plan to take on the challenge. One of the tools was a system called Argo and Jason. Argo was a remote-controlled deep-sea vehicle with cameras and sonar that could be towed behind a ship, while Jason was a robot connected to Argo. Jason could move around on the ocean floor, take close-up pictures, and even collect samples. The images from the system were sent back to the ship, where they could be looked at right away. Although the system was made for science, it also had military uses. The United States Navy agreed to pay for it as long as Ballard's team did some secret missions for them. The Navy gave Ballard and his crew the job of running a month-long expedition every year for 4 years to make sure Argo and Jason stayed in good shape. They also allowed him to use part of that time to search for the Titanic after finishing the Navy's tasks. In 1984, Ballard's team used Argo to find the wrecks of 2 nuclear submarines, the USS Thresher and USS Scorpion, that had sunk in the North Atlantic at depths of almost 10,000 feet. During this mission, they discovered something important about how shipwrecks behave as they sink. Both submarines left a trail of debris spread out over a large area of the ocean floor. Lighter debris drifted farther from the wreck site because of ocean currents. By following this trail, the main wreckage could be located. This new approach became a key strategy in the search for the Titanic. In 1985, a second expedition was launched to map the wreck.
The picture that they just showed right before this clip right here, I actually have the book that picture's from. It's so crazy. Like I'm like now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I can't. I mean, I can remember times before I was into the Titanic, but I've literally been into the Titanic since I was like 6 years old. Like it's so interesting. Like it's almost my whole life. I've been completely into this. Like this is I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about this one. I mean, it's cut and clean, but it's like there's still so much.
Wreck of the Scorpion submarine. After finishing that mission, only 12 days would be left to search for the Titanic. Since previous attempts, like the one by Harris and Grimm, had taken over 40 days without success, Robert Ballard knew he needed extra help. He reached out to a French oceanographic agency called IFREMER, which had worked with Woods Hole before. They had recently built a powerful side-scan sonar system called SAR. The French agreed to join the search and sent their research ship Le Suroît to help. The plan was simple. The French team would use their sonar to find possible spots where the Titanic might be, and then Ballard's team would use their Argo system to investigate those spots and confirm if it was the shipwreck. The French crew spent 5 weeks searching the ocean floor, starting on July 5th and finishing on August 12th, 1985. They scanned an area of about 150 square nautical miles by moving their ship back and forth in straight lines, a method called mowing the lawn. Unfortunately, they didn't find anything at first, though later it was revealed they had come within a few hundred yards of the Titanic during their very first pass. Ballard realized that trying to find the Titanic itself with sonar was not the best plan, so he decided to use a different approach. He thought back to what they learned during the searches for Thresher and Scorpion. Looking for the ship, he focused on finding the debris field. This was because the debris would cover a much bigger area, about 2 kilometers or more, while the Titanic itself was only about 27 meters wide. To do this, Ballard used Argo's cameras instead of sonar. Cameras could easily tell the difference between objects made by humans and natural things lying on the ocean floor, which sonar couldn't do. The plan was to tow Argo back and forth over the seabed all day and night, while people on the research ship Connor watched the live camera feed for any signs of debris. After a week of finding nothing, things finally changed. Early in the morning on Sunday, the 1st of September, 1985, at exactly 12:48 a.m., bits and pieces of debris started showing up on the screens. One of those objects turned out to be a boiler, the same kind that was in photos.
Yeah, and the documentary that we were watching the other night actually has their reaction to when they found that boiler. I don't know why that one got cut off, but I'm trying to do my best here to like do commentary. Not like I'm struggling or anything, but make sure I'm flashing this, doing the things. But I appreciate all you guys being here, especially with the fact that it's like literally just it's a different thing. I know a lot of people are still like, "Oh my god, let's gypsy it up," but I'm like, gypsy's not gonna be here forever. But you know what is the Titanic? The true crime community will, and it doesn't have to be. There's a million cases. In fact, we're gonna watch a case after this. Well, it'll depend. It'll depend.
Photos of the Titanic taken back in 1911. The very next day, they found the main part of the wreck. Argo sent back the first pictures of the Titanic that anyone had seen in 73 years. The discovery made headlines everywhere, but now the big question was, what kinds of artifacts or items were still down there? Let's explore that next. The Titanic's oldest camera. Photographs and videos of the Titanic are extremely rare, but thanks to Bernie Palmer, we have a rare look at what the unsinkable ship looked like both before and after its tragic sinking. Bernie Palmer, a Canadian, was given a Kodak Brownie box camera as either a Christmas gift in 1911 or for her birthday on January 10, 1912. In early April, Bernie and her mother boarded the Cunard liner Carpathia in New York, headed for a Mediterranean cruise. Not long after leaving New York, the Carpathia received a distress.
Okay, I actually want to take back something I said earlier because I saw the name Bernie, and I wasn't even thinking that it could be a little girl named Bernadette. Holy shit, a little kid took all these pictures? Okay, that makes this way more intense. Dude, what? Which makes sense because at first I was like, wait a minute, how's this guy taking pictures of these boats coming on the safety boats, the lifeboats coming off the ship? Well, it makes sense that it was a little girl because they were the only ones able to get on those motherfuckers. It didn't matter how. The only thing that mattered was the fact that they locked third class down in the basement and that they couldn't get up, and then they found ways up, but by that time it was fucked.
Stress call from White Star liner Titanic On April 14th, the ship quickly turned around and raced toward the site of the disaster, rescuing over 700 survivors from the freezing waters of the North Atlantic. With her new camera in hand, Bernie started taking pictures right away. Due to a lack of food to feed both the paying passengers and the Titanic survivors, the Carpathia turned back to New York to land the survivors. The captain of the Carpathia decided to impose a news blackout, blocking all communications from the ship until all
Why was that ship completely, that little boat, empty? There are pictures that were taken from the dock, but they're showing pictures right now. They've been flashing some of the pictures all together. You can't take a picture of the ship sinking at the dock, Jonesy. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Titanic survivors had safely disembarked in New York. The demand for news stories was overwhelming, and reporters flooded the Carpathia.
Oh shit, I hit the wrong button. So like for instance, this one right here. This is different because this is the Carpathia. They're oh shit, let me get back to showing it to you guys. So there's like this whole thing with like the sister ships, and we can get into that. So someone gave me a wonderful idea. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, there's a few different ones. There's the Olympic. Is it the Olympic or Olympic, the Carpathia, and there's another one. And so basically the conspiracy theory about it is that Titanic actually never sunk, and that Titanic is actually the ship that's still up, and that they sunk the other ship and called it the Titanic for insurance and shit. Like there's like this whole thing. No, you're good, Jonesy. I wasn't trying to like be a dick or anything. I was just like, well, wait a minute, bro. Like, you gotta think about it. It's like this wasn't taken from the dock. No, there's a few ships that look like this. The White Star Line designed a lot of ships that look like this. Just that the Titanic was the biggest one. So I'll find a video of that, the conspiracy theory around that. I know I have it somewhere because I've watched it a couple times. It's been a while, but we'll get through this one. And as much as I would love to stay up and watch like another good 30-45 minutes, you know how 30 minutes turns into an hour as a host. So, well, how it goes. So anyway, let's keep going. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, all the things that help Bug. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here, and let's keep going.
Carpathia, eager for first-hand accounts of the sinking and rescue. A reporter from Underwood & Underwood, a photography agency in New York, got one of the most valuable stories when he met Bernice Palmer aboard the Carpathia. She had not only taken pictures of the Titanic survivors on the ship's deck, but she had also captured photos of the iceberg that sank the Titanic. The reporter offered to develop, print, and return the photos to Bernie, along with $10. Not fully realizing how valuable her pictures were, Bernie happily agreed, and Underwood & Underwood ended up with priceless images of the Titanic wreck for almost nothing. This is the contract between Bernie and the reporter that transferred the rights to the photos. In 1986, Bernie donated her camera.
That is so dirty. Oh, and not only that, but it was deceiving because the way it made it sound. Yes, Sky, we are doing it. So so that's what I was wondering. I was like, dude, that's pretty crazy that it survived. So they didn't. I don't know. Let's keep going. Let's see what this is saying before I say it.
Titanic photos and related materials to the Smithsonian. Bernie Palmer's photos provide a rare personal view of the Titanic story, offering a touching glimpse into a world that was lost too soon. One of her most moving photos shows a young couple, Mr. and Mrs. George Ahada from Brooklyn, New York, happily enjoying their honeymoon aboard the ship. Their faces are full of the excitement and love that comes with starting a new chapter in life. It's hard to imagine the pain they would face later, but this picture captures a moment of pure joy, untainted by the tragedy that would follow. Another powerful image Bernie captured shows the Carpathia arriving at the Titanic disaster site. Under the pale moonlight, rescuers saw bits of wreckage floating in the water and lifeboats carrying survivors. The photo holds a quiet sadness, not just debris, but shattered dreams and lives lost overnight. Bernie's photograph brings you into that still.
So earlier when I first found this, hey Ren, how's it going? Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, I knew Titanic was fucking awesome, but like I love Titanic, so we can definitely. Titanic is just gonna be. Someone mentioned Titanic Tuesdays, and I fucking love that. I love that. Look how empty this fucking shit is. Like, look how empty that is. So this is where that line comes from, basically. And earlier I saw a boat only filled with 12 people. 12. Yeah, like, and I can't even see the other half of it. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like what? There's like literally almost 12 people in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is hard to tell if this is 2 people or 1, 6, 8. So there's like 13 or 14 people right here. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Cause you know what? Yeah, Titanic Tuesdays. How cool. So that's a thing. So I'll make sure that I'm situated with my schedule to do that. Cause Titanic Tuesday is lit. Like literally everybody could get like do their Taco Tuesday and then come down and watch the ship sink with us.
Heartbreaking moment. One of the most haunting images she captured is of the infamous iceberg. Looking at it through her camera lens feels almost unreal. This massive, ordinary chunk of ice was the cause of the downfall of such a grand ship and the lives aboard it. Now let's shift our focus to some of the artifacts recovered from the wreckage site and explore what they can teach. Artifacts from the wreckage. Since 1987, a private American company called RMS Titanic, Inc. has recovered more than 5,000 artifacts from the Titanic. These items range from pieces of the ship's hull to china. RMS Titanic, Inc. conducted 7 research and recovery missions to retrieve Titanic artifacts from the wreck site between 1987 and 2004. Since these missions, some Titanic items have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. One of the first items to be found was an alligator bag that held a heartbreaking story belonging to Marion Meanwell, a passenger aboard the RMS Titanic who sadly did not survive the disaster. Inside the bag was a faded photograph, believed to be of Marion's mother, one of the few such photos ever discovered. "It's a really beautiful, fashionable little bag," says Thomasina Ray, the director of collections for RMS Titanic Inc., the company that has recovered these artifacts. This US-based company has exclusive rights to salvage from the Titanic wreck and has collected many items, some of which are displayed in museums worldwide. The bag, made of alligator skin, managed to survive decades underwater in the cold depths of the North Atlantic. The fragile items inside, however, were preserved as well, offering a glimpse into Marion Meanwell's life. Marion was a 63-year-old milliner traveling to the US to be with her daughter, who had recently lost her husband. Inside the bag, there was paperwork that she would need for her new life in America, including a reference letter from her former landlord in London. It read, "We have always found Miss Meanwell to be a good tenant, prompt with payment." Also found was her medical inspection card, required for all third-class passengers to prove they weren't bringing any diseases into the US. However, this water-damaged document held a tragic twist. Marion had originally booked a passage on the Majestic, another White Star Line ship, but
There's actually a couple people that this happened to. So there actually was a black man on the Titanic. Just one, and his wife was white, and so there was actually a couple mixed kids on the Titanic. And we'll get into that later, but I just thought it was funny that it was like, God. Also, I wanted to actually point out the fact that how crazy is that? That alligator skin, that is next level shit. Like, bro, that now we know that we got to get the alligators. Like, we eat their tails, and then we'll just use their shit as like I don't know, for like to protect you. Like same way like Teflon, but I bet you that shit's stronger, and they just don't want to. I mean, what good is an alligator? It's a pest.
since it never sailed, the card shows that her booking was transferred to the Titanic, making her one of the more than 1,500 passengers who perished that night. Being able to tell her story and have these objects is really important, says Thomasina. Otherwise, she's just another name on the list. Among the items from Titanic survivors brought up from the ocean depths are perfumes. Thomasina opens a plastic container and a strong, sweet smell fills the air. It's very potent, she says, admitting the scent is still powerful. Inside the container are tiny vials of perfume. Though sealed, the strong fragrance still escapes after so many years underwater. There was a perfume salesman on board, and he had over 90 of these little perfume vials. Thomasina explains. His name was Adolphus Saalfeld, and he had been traveling as a first-class passenger. Saalfeld was one of the 700 who survived. However, since women and children were prioritized during the evacuation, many men who made it off the ship were left with troubled feelings. He had passed by the time we found this, Thomasina says, but it's my understanding that he lived with some guilt. Survivor's guilt. Also in the collection is a champagne bottle, still containing champagne with a cork at the top. A little bit of water probably seeped in through the cork as it compressed and equalized the pressure. And then it just sat on the bottom of the ocean, Thomasina says. When the Titanic sank in 1912 after striking an iceberg, the ship broke apart, spilling its contents and creating a huge debris field. There are a lot of bottles on the ocean floor and a lot of stock pots and kitchen pots too, because the Titanic actually broke up near one of the kitchens, says Thomasina. There were thousands of bottles of champagne on board. The ship's owner wanted its first-class passengers to experience luxury at its best, with lavish surroundings and the finest food and drinks. It was like a floating palace, and the Titanic was supposed to be the most luxurious liner, Thomasina says. So having champagne, a gym, all these amazing amenities and great things for passengers would have been really important to them. Out of all the artifacts recovered from the wreckage, one thing became clear from the evidence. There were clear class distinctions aboard the Titanic. Let's dive deeper into that.
Okay, so you guys remember a little while back when they were talking about how like the RMS LLC or whatever it was, they have like access, like full access. So basically, essentially everything that is recovered. I don't know if this is like country per country, but as far as like I guess America, because this is what they've been talking about, um, they have full access to first and full access to all stuff that's been recovered. So they're the ones that are hustling off to all these other museums, still owned by RMS, which is actually the White Star Line. But I bet you anything, if I do a little dig, that the RMS ink is completely directly correlated with the White Star Line. And obviously, the people that owned White Star Line back in the day aren't alive, but there's heirs. Kind of like I'm trying. Actually, I need to take a video of me doing my DNA test with you guys, because I'm trying to find out if there's any sort of way that I'm still connected as an heir to a company that's astronomically huge. I know that I know I had a family member that sold it. But that just because that's sold doesn't mean that it's completely gone, and that there's just loopholes, and that they're not going to reach out to you because they don't want to know that. But there could be a chance. Let's keep going. Well, they will wreck the ecosystem. I love the creatures, but nature decides the ecosystem. Yeah, that's true. I was not really hating on the alligators. It's kind of like a deer or something, you know. In Australia, they got kangaroo. Yeah, white deer. Yeah, white-tailed deer. They do all the things. There's so many. And deer meat's great. Deer meat's wonderful, but it's not illegal to hunt them though. You just have to do certain times. Anyway, let's keep going.
For today's subscriber's pick, we're obviously looking into one of history's most infamous maritime disasters. Let's explore some lesser-known facts about the night the
Now, the thing is that I'm not 1000%. I think this is from the original Titanic movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I think that's what this is. Yeah, deer meat's so good, dude. Like, they should normalize it. Like, they should normalize it to a point where, like, they sell it in stores and shit the same way they do with cow. Because, like, dude, what? Like, you sell cow and pig and, like, turkey and chicken and ham. And, well, ham is pig, but, like, you sell all that. Yeah, but, like, Oh, there's plenty. Anyway, let's keep going.
The unsinkable ship met its tragic fate. Here's how an old camera captured revealed horrifying Titanic photos. It is true
Okay, whoa, that last one was legit.
that the Titanic's crew received multiple iceberg warnings from other ships, but either dismissed or underestimated their seriousness. This oversight ultimately led to the fatal collision that sealed the ship's doom. And remember that emotional scene in James Cameron's 1997 movie where the band plays Nearer My God to Thee as the ship goes down? That wasn't just a Hollywood drama, it really happened. The Titanic's band, led by Wallace Hartley, courageously played on the deck until the very end.
The violin, you can find, I think it's in America because there's a big Titanic museum in Paris, but I think the biggest one in the world is in Tennessee. Huh. I think the violin is in Tennessee in America. And it's the violin.
End, providing a haunting soundtrack to the ship's 3-hour descent into the icy Atlantic as people drowned. Tragically, the disaster claimed 1,503 lives, including the youngest victim, a 9-month-old baby. Here's a thought-provoking question for you. If you had been one of the over 2,200 passengers on board that fateful voyage, would you have made it out alive? What strategies would you have used to survive? Would you have tried to help others amidst the chaos or focused solely on saving yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Class distinctions aboard the Titanic. Life aboard the Titanic was very different depending on your social class. Even something as simple as the cups and plates passengers used showed this divide. A third-class mug was basic but strong, with a bright red White Star logo. A second-class plate was more refined, with delicate blue flowers on it. But the first-class dinner plates were something else entirely. Made from fine china, they had gold trim and an intricate garland pattern that shimmered in the light.
Okay, so Jonesy, good point. I could not imagine standing there playing all calm. God damn. There we go. So as you're slowly sinking into a huge body of freezing water. Okay. But are you a musician? So these are men. They don't have a chance to get off of this ship. There's still overwhelming amounts of women and children that need to be put onto this. They are technically first class, and I don't even actually know if that is 1,000% true, but I would guess that the musicians got I would hope at least second class. I'm sure they got first class accommodations because they were the band, but like if as I know me, like if I knew I had no way to get off, like I'm gonna sit here and hang out. Like fuck it, dude, I'm banging these drums, bitch, till the day I die. Like I'll play this guitar, like I don't, whatever. If I know like you're going down, you might as well go down doing what you love.
The pattern would have been colored, but since it was on top of the glaze, it washed away over time, Thomasina explains. First-class passengers enjoyed their meals with silver service, while third-class passengers had to make with sturdier, more durable china. Thomasina adds, third-class passengers would have handled the china themselves. It was designed to be much tougher and withstand rougher use than the others. RMS Titanic Inc. has exclusive permission to recover items from the wreck site, granted by a US court in 1994. However, they must follow strict rules. All items must stay together as a collection, never sold off individually, and must be carefully preserved. So far, the company has collected artifacts from the debris field around the wreck, but recently they've sparked some debate. They announced,
Dude, I would have been totally getting lit. Like I would have been like, nah, dude. If I'm not getting off here, I'm busting into the liquor cabinet. Yeah, I'm busting the liquor cabinet. I'm jamming on my drums. Like I'm playing my violin. I don't care, bitch. I'm playing this bass. I'm getting lit. Because hell no. I think if I'm not mistaken, I was looking at something the other day, and the one guy lived, and the only reason that he lived was because he was drunk. He was in the water. It kept his body hot. So I guess to an extent we can give credit to alcohol. Let's go.
Announced plans to retrieve the Marconi radio equipment, which was the device that sent out distress signals the night the Titanic sank. Some people believe the wreck should be left alone as it's a gravesite. We want to respect Titanic, Thomasina says in response. Our goal is to preserve the memory of the ship and share it with the public because not everyone can visit the Titanic, and we want to bring it to them. Soon, the shelves of the company's secret warehouse might need more space. The latest expedition involved taking millions of photos to create a detailed 3D model of the wreck. As well as examining the Marconi radio room, the team has been identifying items in the debris field that they hope to retrieve in future dives. Another item recovered that proved the class system aboard the vessel was an entry ticket to the ship's luxurious Turkish baths, which sold for $11,000. While glass, metal, and ceramic pieces are common, paper items are much rarer. The paper or textile items survived because they were kept in suitcases. The tanned leather of the suitcases helped protect them, explained Alexandra Klingelhofer, the vice president of collections for Premier Exhibitions, Inc. She described the suitcases as time capsules that offer a glimpse into the lives of their owners. It's like reconnecting with someone by looking at the things they cared about, Klingelhofer said. Other famous Titanic artifacts include a kimono believed to have been worn by survivor Lady Duff Gordon on the night of the disaster, which sold for $75,000, and a violin.
Boom! There it is. That's the violin. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's at the largest. It's the largest museum too. The outside of it is actually shaped like the shit. I can't think what the fuck it's called. But yeah, it's really cool. That was like went to America, and I was like, dude, there's like 4 things I want to do. So started in New York, then did Nashville, then went to Florida, and then flew back to Canada. You know how it goes.
Violin owned by Wallace Hartley, the ship's bandmaster, who continued to play as the ship sank, which sold for $1.7 million. Many artifacts have been retrieved from the wreck, but countless items still rest at the bottom of the sea, slowly decaying from corrosion, ocean currents, and the passage of time. When RMS Titanic, Inc. announced its plans to conduct more explorations, including retrieving the ship's famous radio equipment, it faced strong criticism. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, argued in court that the radio could be surrounded by the remains of over 1,500 people, and therefore it should be left undisturbed. But in May 2020, U.S. District Judge Rebecca Beach Smith ruled that RMS Titanic, Inc. had the right to recover the radio. She based her decision on the radio's historic and cultural value, along with the fact that it might soon be lost to time. Despite this, in June, the U.S. government filed a legal challenge, claiming the plan would violate federal law and an agreement with Britain that recognizes the Titanic wreck as a memorial site. While some argue that the ongoing decay of Titanic artifacts might justify further retrievals, there are still historians who oppose the removal of the radio. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.
Yeah, that was cool. Look at that. We made it through. We actually made it through. That was cool. Whoa. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. The fuck is this shit? Why do I want to click on it though? I don't know. What are you guys doing? What's everybody doing? Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. Being able to turn it into 30 minutes adds 30 minutes. So that's not bad at all. And there's a little couple parts where it was like, oh man, I don't know. What now? I guess. I guess we can watch this shit. All right, guys. So this is a couple, and I just recently came across them. I love that because I mean I know who I would want to do the other half of the video. So this is a couple, and their channel is lit. I mean, they are lit. They're halfway. They're over halfway to 1 million subscribers. Like they're good. This is this. All right. So you know, I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything, but I'm striving to be an like this. Okay. This is the kind of stuff I want to do. I love the way that they do this. I'm ready to start documentary style stuff on a different level. You know, hey, what's up, Mama Bean? How's it going? Yeah, Laura, thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know what the benefit is leaving all of it behind. Dude, I don't know. But anyway, thanks for being here. All right, guys. So now we're getting into some true crime stuff. All right, so I just want to like give you guys like the title of this is Mom says she was busy hoeing while torturing her son for 74 days straight. And what's crazy is that like I almost just stuttered because I forgot I was over here and I can say whatever the fuck I want. So this is about a half an hour too, and if I don't make it all the way through, we'll just pick up with it when I get home tomorrow. I'm a sound engineer in the mornings on Sundays, so all right. Let's welcome everybody in, guys. I'm so glad you guys are stumbling upon this. I don't even have something that's like clickbait as my title. Like it's just like we're just chilling. I was like, yo, found a couple things. Well, I wanted to watch that. I saw that shit earlier, and I was like, well, I want to watch it. Basically, the way I pick things that, well, if as a crowd you guys choose or whatever, people have been recommending things all day, but I can definitely tell you that most of the time it's like I just want to watch something, and then I'm like, hey, you guys want me to cover this? Cool, because I was gonna watch it without you guys on my own, but since I'm a YouTuber, I can fucking watch it with you guys. I got the notification from you and Ivory at the same time. I mod for her, so I went to hers first. Oh, that's totally fine. I love TT. Um, big shout out to her too because she has definitely she's definitely been somebody I've been watching. And I love to have her when she comes over on my panel. I'm not saying I want some drama or whatever, but I'm definitely looking forward to there being something going on and having people come over because I am a neutral platform and it's been proven and time again. I love documentaries too. So this is another documentary that we're gonna watch. Oh, she was on YouTube? Very good. Very good. Cool. You know, she always clicks to me in my mind as TikTok only because the style of which I have to go over there and look. I don't even think I follow her. Now that I think about it, 'cause I didn't know she was over here. I knew she was on Facebook and Instagram, but I didn't know she was on over here. All right, guys. So let's start this. This has got to have the best fucking like this fucking title is lit. Like, mom says she was busy hoeing. Like, just that alone. Good. I'm glad. Oh, cool. Hey, fam. Good. I'm so glad you guys are coming on over here. Yeah, I love me some TT, dude. She's cool. Um, and it's like one of those things where it's like, people are like, yeah, not every creator's for you. I'm not for everybody. TT's not for everybody. Hannah's not for everybody. Who has some cool creators too? Shit, even Conspiracy's not for a lot of people, and she's fucking awesome. She's just chill. She's funny. I found a really funny person too, man. Nicole, dude, that girl's funny as shit. She's funny as shit. Anyway, let's keep going, guys. So, no, let's not keep going. Let's start this.
Ray Crossland was born in Muncie, Indiana on July 12, 2016 to Chelsea Lynette Crossland. He was described as a sweet, wonderful, and outstanding young man. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, and a
Wow, what a pretty boy. That's sad. I hope that he's not passed. I'm just hoping because I'm like, dude, like this right here, mm-mm-mm. Look, his teeth are pretty nice too for a little kid. Like, he's like that, like, annoyingly, like, cute guy. You guys, you ladies know how it goes. It's like me. Like, oh, you're so annoying, you little fucking sexy fucker.
And a wide, toothy smile. His nicknames were Bubba and Bubby. He liked the children's program Paw Patrol and anything related to John Deere tractors, monster trucks, and the family dog Fred. When he was just a toddler, Brittany Ballinger and her boyfriend Trevor Easton began caring for him, raising him as if he was their own son. The couple lived with Brittany's mother and brother, and the whole family doted on him. Images they shared on social media showed a happy, well-loved, and adventurous little boy. He learned to ride a bike and was captured mid-pedal, smiling brightly. He liked to play outside and go fishing at the lake with Trevor. The family captured so many moments that were ordinary, but also very precious. The photos showed him sleeping peacefully, catching snowflakes on his tongue, helping drive a tractor, and pretending to shave with shaving cream in a spoon. They showed hugs from Grandma, a pile of presents on Christmas morning, and standing on hay bales at a pumpkin patch. Some were taken on ordinary days, sitting in his car seat or being held by Brittany or Trevor. During the years he spent with the family, he had the kind of childhood that every kid deserves.
Whoa! Time out. She's wearing a Six Sad World shirt with Daria holding a skull. Okay, I already love them more. Like, this couple is lit. I don't really get the plants in the background, but whatever. I mean, they know better than I do. Maybe I should get plants in my background. Because, like, what? 500,000 fucking followers? But although I feel like I really did just start in March or May 30th was my first video. You guys imagine me in 10 years? Jesus Christ. Let's go.
According to Chelsea's mother, Gladys Crossland, Chelsea's childhood in Texas was very different. She was a troubled child, and her father, Randy Crossland, was in prison for most of her life. He also suffered from anxiety and schizophrenia that Gladys believed he passed down to Chelsea. Their family moved to Indiana in 2012, but Chelsea's life didn't get any easier. Gladys said Chelsea had a series of dangerous boyfriends who committed DV against her, and at least one even tried to strangle her. Gladys said on several occasions Chelsea told her that she wanted to hurt herself, even to the point of wanting to end everything. Chelsea was 21 years old when she had Christian. She already had 2 daughters by the time he was born. First girl was born in 2013 and her second in 2014. Some friends remembered her being a good mother to these girls. Based on their last names, which we won't mention to protect their identity, their father had ended his relationship with Chelsea by the time Christian was born, and Chelsea was in a new relationship with one Nick Riddle. News reports refer to Nick Riddle as Christian's father, and Nick claimed him as his son, but there were rumors he wasn't Christian's biological father. After Christian was born, Chelsea tried to focus on putting her growing family first, or at least cultivating the impression that she was focusing on them. In November of 2017, she got the word family tattooed on her wrist. In August of 2018, she posted pictures of her 3 children walking hand in hand. She captured one with "My happiness." Above the other photo, she wrote, "We're going to be good. Just believe that." Despite her assurances, her life seemed to be in constant chaos. She was in several failed relationships, and people seemed to come into her life briefly, then leave just as quickly. In September of 2018, she posted the comment, "I just want to run away with my babies and never come back." Some of her troubles might be explained by a comment she made in November of 2018 during an argument with her mother online. Chelsea posted, and I quote, "I hate stupid snitching bitches, like for real."
Alright, but, like, that's not even crazy to say, because, like, me too, bro. Like, what? I mean, I get it, like, I would highlight that too, but also because I'm funny, I would have been like, alright, like, time out, y'all. Even though I agree with that statement, where the statement leads to isn't worth it, but definitely fucking fuck that snitches ass shit. But also, in certain situations, it's not a snitch. It's like some people need to be outed for the bullshit, fake ass gay shit that they're fucking into. And not gay like that. Like, I don't know why I said that. Now you're like, clip this shit and be like, oh, Bug said gay. Yeah, you know what? I did. I fucking said that. You know why? Because, like, dude, it's just whack. Like, I fucking wish it was fucking 1999, because you guys would all be gay wads. But it's not, so that's not even a word anymore. No, just kidding. We don't do hate over here, but just know that, like, dude, be real. Like, just be real. Be a real one and come original. Straight up. That's what people want. They want that originality. Now, as far as these plants in the background, I'm not against the plants. It's not that. It's just weird. It's just a weird combination of plants. That's all I was really getting at. I actually grew up around a plant company. I have a huge green thumb. Let's keep going.
Friends commented on the post asking what happened. Chelsea explained her sister had caused some sort of trouble, though she didn't explain what exactly her sister did. She said, "It's my so-called sister. All she does is run her fucking mouth, talk it, start shit. It's just sad, really. Pathetic."
Damn! Feel that?
Though her mother's side of the conversation has been deleted, in Chelsea's response, she claimed her mother took her sister's side, like she always did, allegedly. She said, "But of course you're going to defend her, as always, lol." In another comment, she said, "You're the one that comes at me with some dumb shit because you side with her every single fucking time. You wasn't brought into this. Nobody made you comment on here, but of course you had to defend her because she's always right, huh? She does no wrong, LMFAO. But if you want to say that it's the right thing to do to snitch, then okay." When Chelsea
Damn! That sounded like they was talking about like 20,000 people I be seeing on this motherfucking internet.
Chelsea's friends were brought up, she told her mother
Astravino much?
that, in her opinion, they were more loyal to her than her family actually was. She assured her mother that she'll be fine without her sister in her life, saying, "They are actually, to be honest, the only ones that have been having my back and wanting better for me. That instead of driving me to do my fucking dope, actually are here for me. Gave me a fucking place to go and want better for me. I lost myself. Damn near gave up completely. Only reason I didn't was because of my kids and the very few friends that I do actually got. I never needed her. Never will either. I mean, come on now, and trust me, I'll be perfectly fine without the beats and drama in my life. You always side with her and her bitch. I don't know, though. I see shit for how it really is."
Damn! I literally heard someone say that kind of shit the other day. This shit is getting way personal. I don't know about you guys, but
In addition to revealing the deep rifts in her family life, Chelsea's comments about her dope and giving up also pointed to two of her serious struggles: substance use, her continuing struggle with mental illness and depression. Chelsea never named the friends that she considered loyal, but that could have included Brittany and her family. They were the type of family that had offered a helping hand. As early as 2017, pictures of Chelsea showed up on Brittany's social media account, and in May of 2019, Chelsea posted a picture of Brittany on her social media.
Their friendship might explain, in part, why Christian ended up living with the Ballinger family. In late 2017, Brittany posted that a wonderful Christmas present that year would be finding 2 pink lines on a pregnancy test because she wanted a baby. Meanwhile, Chelsea had posted that her mother bought a pack of condoms and encouraged her to use them. Next to the picture of the condoms, Chelsea said, "My mom comes in and throws this at me and says, 'Use this next time.' She really thinks she funny, y'all. Shaking my head, lol."
okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright. She didn't have to take a picture of the condoms, dude. She didn't have to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy how people cry on fucking Facebook like that. I hate people talking on Facebook. That's one thing I don't miss. I don't have a personal Facebook right now. I hate when people are like, why are you writing a novel on there? First of all, nobody was even reading a text that was that long, let alone that they were interested in. Like, I could like it's just the way my brain works. Like, it's crazy because like I'll leave a novel worth of text messages for people to come back to, but it wasn't sent as a novel. It was sent in like, maybe it depends. Like, if it was like drastic and it needs details, I'm leaving a voice message because, dude. But the times that I need it to, the times when people can't listen and I know I have to do it, it seems like it's a novel, but it's not. It's just a couple, like, it's me doing like paragraph after paragraph, but like small ones, like 3 or more sentences. But that on your Facebook, bro, that shit's cheap hoe shit.
It might have been as simple as Chelsea wasn't able to take care of Christian and wanted him to be cared for by someone who really wanted him. Or it may have been even more complicated than that. Later, when Brittany was asked if Trevor had been in a relationship with Chelsea, she said she had heard rumors, but had never personally seen any evidence of a relationship between the two. Some people thought Trevor was Christian's biological father. He often called Christian his son, but there were no public records of paternity test results to settle the matter. We are left to guess because Chelsea never explained her reasons, but in early 2018, she left Christian in the care of Brittany and Trevor. The couple was living with Brittany's mother, Rhonda Ballinger, and Brittany's brother, Dustin Ballinger, still lived in the family home as well. Trevor's sister, Christina Easton, often visited and loved being an aunt to Christian. In 2019, Chelsea moved back to Texas for almost a year, likely leaving the girls behind with family members. Her online posts during that year focused mostly on romantic relationships, what kind of love that she thought she deserved, finding a new boyfriend, and then feeling underappreciated after.
So I can't wait here soon that I'm gonna be doing stuff just like this. Like, this is basically what my platform is gonna be turning into, doing like short and longer documentaries. Yeah, I have the ideas and all this stuff, and then I know what I'm gonna do, and I know who is gonna help. They might not know, but you're helping. There's like 3 of you for sure. All right. Because this is the style that I'm capable of, and some like I could put together a documentary. I know how to do it. I just need to get. We'll talk about that later, guys.
In July, she posted a meme that read, "Am I single? Am I in a relationship? Am I hiding? Find out on the next episode of Mind Your Fucking Business." After at least one, possibly more, failed relationships in Texas, one appreciated after. In July,
Wait, guys, it's not just in July. This post was posted on my birthday. It says July 25th. Look.
she posted a meme that read, "Am I single? Am I in a relationship? Am I hiding? Find out on the next episode of Mind Your Fucking Business." After at least one, possibly more, failed relationships in Texas, she returned to Indiana in 2020. Later that year, she was involved in a motor vehicle accident and left the scene before police could talk to her. She was charged with DUI, fleeing an officer, and leaving the scene of an accident. She was found guilty in a jury trial and given a 2.5-year suspended sentence. She was only required to serve 12 days in jail and was able to complete her time over several weekends, presumably so she could work during the week.
At some point, she and Nick rekindled their relationship, but it was rocky. He got a protection order against Chelsea, but the judge dismissed it when the court found out that he was violating the order by staying with her. He ended up in jail for 2 days, and she pled to a misdemeanor invasion of privacy.
Whoa, a sign? Bro, a sign of what? I should hoe? Alright. Note taken, advice heard. It's going down.
As part of her plea deal, she was given a 6-month suspended sentence and probation. While Chelsea was running around and getting into trouble, Trevor and Brittany were raising Christian. Brittany said he was a happy and outgoing boy who never seemed sick and always had a healthy appetite. In 2020, the couple married and continued to raise Christian as their own throughout 2021. Their social media accounts are full of simple moments that reflect their love for each other and for Christian. In one, Brittany snapped a picture of 2 homemade cookies she'd found in her packaged lunch. On the corner of the plastic bag, Trevor wrote, "Have a good night, Trevor and Christian." Her caption for the photo said, "Opened my bag and found this. It's the little things in life that mean the most. I love you both." Christian stayed with them for over 3 years. By then, he was 5 years old, fully potty trained, and old enough to start kindergarten, though with a birthday in July, he must have missed the cutoff.
In 2021, Chelsea got pregnant for the 4th.
The cutoff? Where did it say that they lived again? How do you miss the cutoff in July? Like, yeah, a July baby is much younger than the other classmates, but what? It used to be September, or it used to be like, yeah, September. It is September. Hey, Bug, I found something funny. You have little Ren, Kai, Sky. I don't know why I noticed that, but it made me laugh. Because Little Ren is Ren. So it's not really two people. I'm just typing it with a W because that's how she spells Ren. But over here, she's Little Ren, like, Ren and Stimpy. Maybe it depends on the school district. Yeah, I guess so. What's September? The cutoff date for the thing. I only know that it's September 30th because my brother was born in October, like the first couple of days of October. And they were like, oh, hell no, we won't go. So they made him not go to school for another year over like 3 some days, dude. Like my parents were fighting this shit out. They're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like imagine like you think your kid like you're gonna be like kid free like all day while like all your kids are at school, and then they're like, "Nah, bitch, like you got another year with that motherfucker." She's like, "Damn."
Time. She had another baby boy in November that year. After the baby was born, she decided she needed to have her family back together. She got the girls back and asked Brittany and Trevor to return Christian. Because there was never a formal arrangement, they hadn't adopted him and didn't have any established legal right to keep him. They had to give him back to his mother. They were allowed to keep him for one more Christmas, but on January 8th, 2022, he moved back in with Chelsea at her home on Southwestern Avenue in Portland, Indiana. Since he wasn't in school yet, he would be spending all day, every day, at home with Chelsea and the baby. For the next 74 days, she would make every one of those days a nightmare for him. She would later claim she was suffering from postpartum depression and other mental illnesses, but that doesn't explain why she insisted on having him there when she wasn't well enough to care for him. Around this time, Nick claimed Chelsea told him she wished the boy were dead. There's no evidence he acted on that information or told anyone else what he'd heard. At some point, Trevor's sister Christina visited Chelsea. While she was there, she heard Chelsea yell at Christian for getting food out of the fridge, stressing he needed to ask for permission first. After Christian accidentally wet his pants, she said Chelsea forced him into a cold shower to clean him up. She heard him crying and heard Chelsea tell him, "You gotta learn." On February 8th, Chelsea's mother Gladys said she visited Chelsea and the kids. She remembered the date because it was her birthday and she wanted to celebrate with her daughter. She claimed she saw Christian and he seemed fine to her. She didn't notice anything that concerned her. Nick claimed he visited.
I do have to say something though. Whatever this filter effect that he's got going, I don't know. I say he. I know it's both of them. It's weird. I don't like the way it's pulsating. And not only is it pulsating, but it's I don't know. I don't know what filter it is. I'll have to find it.
Visited in early March and said Christian looked happy and smiley. He didn't think anything was wrong. A week or so later, Brittany and Christina went to Chelsea's house for a birthday party, but they didn't see Christian while they were there. When they asked why he wasn't celebrating with everyone else, Chelsea told them he was being bad and had to stay in his room as punishment. Though the adults didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, his older sisters, who were 8 years old and 9 years old at the time, knew that there was something very, very wrong happening, but were likely too scared to say anything. Behind closed doors, Chelsea punished Christian by choking him, hitting him, and not feeding him for days at a time. Younger sister said she would try to sneak food to Christian while her mom was asleep. She and her sister both said he was so hungry, sometimes ate his own solid waste out of desperation.
Eventually, it was too much. His weakened body couldn't withstand another beating, and Christian stopped breathing. According to his 10-year-old sister, Chelsea talked out loud to herself, asking what she should do with Christian's body. She said she saw her mother go to the cupboard and get out a trash bag to put him in before changing her mind and calling for an ambulance. At around 11:30 p.m. on March 24th, Chelsea called 911 to report that Christian had gotten out of the bathtub, fallen downstairs, and knocked himself unconscious. In a voice that wavered several times, either with emotion or because she was trying to sound upset, she told the dispatcher, "I tried everything I could." She said her son wasn't breathing and hadn't taken a breath for about an hour and a half before she placed the call.
EMS director Kyle Gerlach responded to the call and found Christian on the floor in the upstairs bathroom wearing only a diaper. He saw multiple bruises all over Christian's exposed skin and blood around his face. The extended lack of oxygen made his face look blue. Director Gerlach described him as a very emaciated child with very little meat on his bones. He said the boy was so skinny, Could actually see the outline of Christian's bones through his skin. The director talked to Chelsea, and she told him she tried to do CPR for about half an hour before calling 911. He asked her to sign a required EMS form. He was taken aback by her signature. He said she signed it with her first name and a smiley face. The officers who arrived with EMS said the home was unkempt and filthy. There was plenty of food in the house. The fridge, freezer, and pantry were all full of food. They noted that Chelsea appeared calm and didn't cry when they talked to her. When one of Christian's sisters cried in the background, she told them that Christian's death was out of nowhere. She didn't understand how it could happen. They taped off the door of the home as the initial step of their investigation. Chelsea said to them, "So I'm guessing this is going to take a while." Officers found the circumstances suspicious, understandably, and requested assistance from the Indiana State Police. They were even more suspicious once they talked to the girls and realized Chelsea had waited for so long before she called for help. The state police asked Jay County prosecutor Wes Sheminar to come to the scene where he saw Christian laying on the bathroom floor. The site
Okay, that is next level. Like, it was so bad that they had the DA himself go to the crime scene with the body still on it where it was found. That is crazy. I watch a lot of World War II stuff, and I really like that's my like I don't, one of my favorite historical events, even though it's horrific, which is also why I have been able to see what the fuck is going on. He probably looks a lot like people that were in concentration camps, to be honest with you. The way that it's being described, I mean, I don't know how some of those people survived. I don't know how. I'm glad that the people that did survive survived. I don't know how he did. Let's keep going.
of him, being so small, so beaten, and so skeletal, was burned into his mind. Later, he would say, "The image of him has never left my mind. It's probably never going to leave my mind. It's probably never going to leave yours." While the investigation continued, Chelsea remained free. Her surviving children were removed from her custody. In response, she posted online, "My heart is broken into a million pieces. I just want my babies." The next day, she posted a longer request for spiritual help, saying, "Prayers, please. They took my kids. Even though they seen for themselves they're great. They fought to go with police and DCS. They are traumatized, and so am I. Mom loves you kids with everything in me. Y'all are my whole world, my reason for life. I never would have imagined our worlds getting turned upside like this, but I'm praying everything turns out okay and we can all be back home together soon. Or at least, even if not that, y'all will be all together with family. God, please help me to stay strong myself, but also for my babies to be together and stay strong too. I'm putting it in the Lord's hands too. I'm nothing without y'all, so I'm praying we are all home together again soon." Members of the community saw her posts online and were disturbed by her lack of care for the son she lost. Locals Shelley Pfeiffer and Vivian Pryor were so upset by the situation, they felt compelled to organize a vigil for Christian a few days after his death. Shelley said, "The mother was publicly putting stuff on Facebook and didn't seem to care about the child. There was no remorse. She had nothing to say about him, and it was very strange. As a mom, I think she would be absolutely heartbroken." Vivian agreed that more attention needed to be given to Christian. She said, "I wanted to put on a vigil because I felt like as a community, we needed to mourn this child. He should be missed."
Chelsea also allegedly called Brittany, asking her for prayers as well. According to Trevor's sister Christina, she heard a phone call Chelsea placed in which she said to Brittany, "Please pray for me. I did something bad. Don't tell the police." A few days later, on March 30th, Chelsea was officially arrested and charged with murder, felony neglect resulting in death, and a separate charge of child SA.
What the fuck, dude? This is crazy. And what's even crazier is that this isn't even the craziest thing that popped up. I just went along with this because it said ho.
She was held without bond in the Jay County Jail. Once news of the SA charge was released, Chelsea's dad and some of his associates tried to blame Trevor for being inappropriate with Christian, but it doesn't seem like they had the full story and their accusation fell flat. Once more information was released, it turned out that one of Chelsea's daughters had accused her mother of being inappropriate with her for 2 years. That charge wasn't related to Christian's death. Prosecutors eventually dismissed the SA charges without prejudice, which means they could still refile them in the future.
Chelsea's murder trial was initially scheduled for September 2022, but it was postponed several times, finally scheduled for July of 2023. It began on July 17th with Judge Brian Hutchinson presiding. During the trial, prosecutors argued that Chelsea had deliberately, systematically starved and tortured Christian over a period of 74 days. Chelsea's attorneys, public defender Jacob Dunnock and chief public defender Brandon Murphy, argued that she merely neglected the boy and didn't mean to murder him. The public defender said that Chelsea was, now these are his words, a non-vaccination mother that didn't believe in doctors. He said, "The evidence in this case will show Christian had a short and tragic life. In the final days of his life, he desperately needed medical care. Because medical treatment could have saved him, her attorney argued that his death was the result of neglect and not CA. Chief Public Defender Murphy blamed everyone else in Christian's life except Chelsea because no one did anything to save him. He said, not one of them picked up the phone to call CPS. His death was preventable. It took one phone call from somebody else who cared."
Okay, but I mean, who would have been able to do that? I mean, I bet at that point they're not really bringing him anywhere because, I mean, you guys, if you saw a kid that was like you're thinking something, you're like, bro, like what? We don't see that every day, like that level of skinny, and like when we see it, it's like, damn, bulimia much, bitch? No, I'm just kidding. That's not funny, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's just one of those things. Where, like if you saw a kid like that, though, like nothing you can do about the adult. Like you're like, hey, like there's nothing you can say about that. That's on her. That's on there. But like a kid, and then it's even more sad is because like the sister, she's only 10. So she like, dude, I don't even know what to think. Like being the sister, like what do you do? What the fuck? Like it's tripping me out thinking from the older sister's point of view. Like you're eating dinner and you know that your brother hasn't been at the dinner table, the breakfast table. He's not in school. He didn't get school lunch. He didn't get lunch at home, and you're just hanging. Like I don't know, dude. I would say something like maybe she's dumb. Where are they from? Like what is this breed of people that they got going on? Because I can tell you right now, I've been calling people out for shit. I got in trouble like shit when I was in second grade. I was 7 years old, and I had to go to church like until the day I turned 18. I had to go to fucking church, man. Oh, I fucking hate it. And I said, how could Jonah be swallowed by a whale? Like, first of all, he can't live in the whale's stomach, and whales eat krill. They wouldn't even been able to get a human through the way that their teeth are. That doesn't make any sense. And that's me as a 7-year-old. Me as a 10-year-old? Dude.
Prosecutors argued Chelsea did more than just fail to take care of her son. They said that she had made a conscious decision to kill her son and continued to follow through on that decision. They pointed out that the two girls were healthy and well-fed, and only Christian was starving. They brought Brittany in to testify. She explained he had never had any problem eating and maintaining a healthy weight while she was taking care of him. When asked if he was a picky eater, she said he liked food. Police investigators testified about the evidence they found during a search of Chelsea's home. They found a checkered blanket that smelled of urine that they suspected the boy used. They also found a black and blue notebook that had "I hate Trevor" written on it, which might explain what motivated Chelsea to mistreat Christian so badly. They found the trash bag that Chelsea's oldest daughter mentioned in her initial statement, as well as texts on Chelsea's phone confirming that Christian had eaten his own waste, which matched what the girls had independently told investigators.
Coroner Michael Brewster said he believed Christian had been tortured in what he called a prolonged 74-day horror show. He described the boy as emaciated and so severely malnourished and dehydrated that he failed to thrive. During the autopsy, the coroner observed injuries consistent with being beaten, spanked, and choked, including numerous bruises and contusions on his body and abrasions and injuries to his face. He also noted 2 serious injuries, one on Christian's neck and another on his ear. According to Coroner Brewster, the cause of death was complications from blunt force trauma to his head and oral cavity, and his manner of death was homicide.
Prosecutor Sheminar showed the jury pictures from the crime scene so they could all see his pale white face, dark marks around his eyes, skeletal nose, and emaciated body. He also showed Grandma Gladys the same picture after she testified about how the boy seemed healthy and fine on several occasions when she saw him. When she looked at the photo, she began to cry and said, "That's not what I saw. He didn't look like that." Prosecutor's final witness was pediatric CA expert Dr. Tara Holloran. According to the doctor, Christian's average caloric intake for the final 2 months of his life was nearly 0 calories a day. In his closing argument, Prosecutor Sheminar reminded the jury that Chelsea made the decision to starve her son day after day after day. He said, "What do you say about a case like this? 74 days is what keeps coming back to me. 74 days is how long it takes to starve a 5-year-old boy. Every second of every minute of every hour for 74 days. She made a conscious decision to not feed her son. How could anybody, let alone his own mother, inflict horror on a little child? This was a horrific way to kill somebody. It took 74 days of methodically sticking to the program of not feeding Christian and beating him. We treat animals better than she treated Christian."
What I really am not understanding though is like I don't know how you can do that, but at the same time, like what is the dealio? Like why are you doing this to the little one and not the other ones? I'm not saying I'm glad that the other ones didn't have to go through this and that they're still here, but like that's crazy. Like what did he do? Like I don't really understand that. Like look, I don't want kids, but like man, if a kid was in that situation and I would do anything to get him out of it, and be like, yeah, come on over here, buddy, I'll get you a burger. And you can come over here. Like, what is going on here? And it's ridiculous how much this shit just slides through. Like, there's a lot of cases like this. And you guys, I like to cover crimes against kids because a lot of creators can't. They're unable to. A lot of them are mothers and fathers. And it's too sensitive and they're unable to do it. There's desensitization, which this isn't what that is. My brain works differently. So this kind of stuff is as bothersome as it is. It's like, bro, that's fucked up. But I'm just like, bro, that's fucked up. I'm not emotional over it, but it's just like, dude. I don't understand where this number 74 is necessarily coming from, unless I missed something. But regardless, it's a very interesting number,
Just a little more than an hour, the jury found Chelsea guilty of 1 count of murder and 1 count of neglect of a dependent resulting in death. After the verdict was read, the jury was asked to start the second phase of the trial, during which they would determine an appropriate sentence for Chelsea. Her attorneys argued for a sentence of 55 years because of mitigating factors. They argued she had no previous felonies as a factor in her favor. They also asked the jury to consider her previous struggles with mental health, her difficult family history, and her limited resources. The prosecution, however, was in favor of life without parole. They asked the expert on pediatric CA to explain the difference between CA and torture. She said in order to meet the definition of torture, the physical CA must have occurred on at least 2 separate occasions or 1 prolonged occasion. CA must also be paired with at least 2 psychological elements, such as deprivation and isolation, as such occurred in this case. She pointed out the injuries to Christian's neck and ear because she said those types of injuries couldn't occur accidentally. After hearing the arguments, the jury recommended life without parole. In Indiana, the jury makes a recommendation, and as long as they agree, the judge is expected to follow their recommendation. Judge Hutchinson was happy to follow their recommendation, saying, "I understand I'm bound by the jury. Even if I'm not, I think life without parole is a very appropriate sentence." And that was the sentence he officially handed down on August 24th. During her sentencing hearing, the judge told Chelsea, "There are people out there who hope you get the same treatment as Christian. I would rather the scales fall from your eyes and you live the remainder of your years in horror." Chelsea is currently serving her time in the Indiana Women's Prison in Indianapolis.
A private service was held.
Hell yeah. There's nothing that would have good. But now the other two are out. Like, I don't. Let's see if they tell us where they went.
For Christian at the Williamson Spencer and Penrod Funeral Home in Portland. After the service, he was cremated and his ashes were given to the people who loved him. Recently, Trevor got a tattoo in Christian's memory. The image is inked on his chest over his heart, and in it, he and Christian walked down a fishing dock, hand in hand, underneath the words, "You'll never walk alone." The prayer vigil,
What? How did he not get charged?
organized by local mothers Shelley and Vivian, was held at the Hudson Park on April 1st, which is also CA Awareness Day. Both women spoke briefly.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry to pause it again. I'm just now realizing that I didn't notice it earlier because I was so busy looking at Daria and didn't need anything to see her. But this is a fucking hoodie. I want that hoodie. I'm buying that hoodie. I want it black.
Briefly to the crowd of about 50 people. Vivian said, "I did not know Christian personally. However, I am a mother of a 7-year-old and a 5-week-old. Both of them are boys. They are my whole entire world. I could not even begin to imagine living life without either one of them. When I heard the news about Christian, my heart was completely broken. I had so many questions. I went into my children's room and kissed both of them on their forehead with tears running down my face." Shelley said, "April 1st starts CA Awareness Month, and I felt like this was very fitting because this is abuse. He should have never had this tragic life. He didn't deserve that, and we need to bring light to that." In April of 2022, Trevor, his sister Christina, Brittany, and the rest of the family held another memorial service for Christian, this time focused on getting justice for him. Above a photo of the event, Christina said, "Just a glimpse of the lives Christian Ray has touched in his beautiful life. We got together today to send a message of love to him. Our fight for you has just begun." Christina wanted people to know about the good life and loving family Christian had before he went back to his mother. She said, "Many think this awful world he lived in for 3 months was his whole life. It wasn't. Christian was loved by many and spoiled rotten at times. His smile could be seen from a mile away, as well as his strength. I'll never forget those memories we all have with him and will forever keep his name and memory alive with us all."
Long before Christian entered her life, Brittany understood what it meant to miss someone you loved because she lost her dad in 2014. She often reposted messages that reminded people to take the time to make memories, like this one she posted in November of 2021. It read, "I just want to remind you now so you'll take care of this before Thanksgiving. Buy the little tripod for your phone or camera. Take the family photo. Take it in the living room, on the couch, or go outside. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even if you weigh more than you like, your outfits aren't coordinated, or your kids got food on their clothes, take the photos because death is a thief. It snatched people away without warning, and none of the silly stuff matters. Just take the photos."
I love this post. So I lost my dad in November of 2020, and basically, we a few years, I don't know how long it's been now, basically get to a point where, it's okay, buddy, where we decided to do like Christmas presents. Instead of doing Christmas presents, it's we go somewhere. So I got my dad tickets to a basketball game. We didn't really care for the teams, but it was just something fun because we both like basketball. My parents the same year bought me Justin Timberlake tickets. I went and saw Justin Timberlake in the same weekend. What's the chances? I literally bought him a ticket for Saturday of the same weekend they bought me the Justin Timberlake concert tickets. So my mom, I've taken her. We do like a girls' day or whatever. So I have a sister. And we go to she likes musicals, so we go do that. I've seen Beetlejuice, it's phenomenal. You guys should see Beetlejuice. I've seen Mean Girls, really good. But Beetlejuice was the best. It goes into depth about Lydia. And let's see, where were we? Took her to NYC to see the Pentatonics. I think I'm missing one, but we started doing stuff like that for each other instead. One time for Father's Day, we went to go to the movies and we were like, "Well, what do you guys want to watch?" We're like, "I don't know, like we don't care," and we were all like, "We didn't care," because it was literally we decided it was either gonna be Incredibles 2 or Deadpool 2, and we literally flipped a coin because none of us cared. It was just me and my siblings and my dad, and that's what we did because that's what he wanted to do. He's like, "I just want to hang out with you guys." All right, cool. But yeah, so that was what that was. But I love this post right here. Take the fucking picture, guys. Take it. Take the video. Do it. Especially a video because their voices. It's the voice.
This is excellent advice, one that I personally need to listen to. And it seems like it was something she took to heart because she has dozens and dozens of photos of Christian, though I'm sure she still wishes she had dozens more. She posted some of those photos along with a message a year after his death. She said, "Sweet baby boy, it's hard to believe you have been gone a year. Life is so different without you. I hope you're having the time of your life up there in heaven. I love you and miss your sweet face and your smile. I can still hear your sweet laugh in the back of my head until we meet again." She and Trevor still celebrate his birthday every year. This year, he would have been 8 years old. Trevor posted, "I will always love you, baby boy. Fly high, catch them fish, Bubba. You were a blessing. Love, Daddy. Happy 8th birthday, baby boy." Now, death really is a thief. Take a moment today to steal something back from it, whether it is a photo or a voice recording on your cell phone, a quick video of a pet or any of your loved ones, or just close your eyes and try to capture a simple moment worth remembering. If there is any way that we can honor Christian or any of the victims that we cover on this channel, it's doing just that.
All right, cool. Yeah, so that you guys, for those of you guys that are here and replay, you guys learned a little bit about Bug, Confess a Bear, because normally I don't talk about that. Or you guys will ironically catch me talking about him as if he's still here. Because it's that look. Because people look at you like you're a sad little baby bird. And first of all, I'm not even a bird. I'm a fucking bug. And third of all, fuck you. Alright, guys. I'm getting out of here. It is time for me to go to bed. I have to be up, but we'll come back tomorrow. We'll find something weird to watch. You guys know it's a little tame tonight, but we could slip in some Titanic stuff, man. Yeah, but that is how people look at you, though. Trust and believe. All right, guys. Good night, everybody. You're so amazing. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Just stay safe out there, kids. I'm out. Have a good night, or morning, or afternoon, or whenever the hell in time you're watching this. See ya.